I believe that the moon is our grandmother, the earth is the mother. And some people believe that the moon was even as vibrant as Earth at one point and then died out, which is why it's now considered a moon. But the fact is, she holds a lot of power and she's capable of giving different energy and different power to you and to your prayers, spellcrafting, whatever you want to call it. So with a solar eclipse, we're drawing down the moon through the energy of the sun. So we're drawing down this lunar, which is a feminine vibe, a grandmother. We draw that through and down into us, but through the filter of the sun. And having the sun's filter is a liberating force, and will also burn off stuff that is not necessary, help us burn away problems, burn away fears, this is what it's used for. This particular moon, in a new moon fashion, is to help us burn away what isn't serving us, help to let it go. And that whole vibe of letting it go means you have to look at what's been standing between you. So we know we're working with the sun vibration. Yes, the moon is in there and the earth is in there, but the power of the sun is what we're really trying to draw in, what we're drawing into us. Or if it's a lunar, it's the lunar, the moon, what we're trying to draw into us. We're working right now in what is a new moon, which is considered a dark moon or a brand new moon, when it went from full and it waned down to when it's absolutely dark. And we do different things at the dark moon than we do the next day when it turns into a new moon. Your earth energy is how you manage life, what your day-to-day is, what you're walking into, what you're stepping forward into, what you're planning, what you're living, what you're physicalizing, what you're materializing, what you're manifesting. So you have to look at that and say, okay, through the solar eclipse, you're going to say, what is standing in my way? What is blocking me? Is there something that I need to burn off to get a free passage? Okay, so that's the purpose of the solar eclipse, is to burn away, to let go of, to release fears, but in the same breath, because the new moon is a waning. So we go from full moon to waning to dark moon. And then the very next minute after the dark moon, it begins waxing, moving up, getting bigger, going lighter, brighter. So this is a waxing moon. And this means at that point is when you say what you want. So from the minute behind it, we're saying what we want to release, what is fear, what is anger, what is whatever it is that's been blocking us, whatever that is. It's usually fear and anger, one of the big ones. Greed is another one. Those types of things will be standing in your way. So you got to wrestle that and say, okay, this is what I want to be releasing from me in that one moment. Then it's released. Then from that moment on, after that, we are asking Spirit to help us bring balance, because we're in the Mabon, or the fall equinox. We're looking for balance. We're looking for justice. We're looking for fairness. We're looking for equinox. We're looking for equal. So what does that mean? Is okay, so we've identified what the fears or blockages are and what the troubled areas are that might be in our way. We identify that. We identify what we want, what we would like in its place, what we think that, will bring us that happiness or that solidness or that shift or change. Let's say it's love. Let's say you think that you can't get a partner if you tried. Let's say you believe that, and let's say that's what you want. So now we got to figure out what's standing in your way. Maybe you can't figure it out, but it has something to do with fear. Maybe you can't figure it out, but you have something to do with doubt. You see what I mean? Maybe you don't know for sure, but it's got that vibe. So then you pull that, and then you would say on a releasing level, I want to release doubt, for instance, okay? And then once we shift that energy, what do you want to replace the doubt with? Confidence, assurity. This is a for instance, okay? Assurity, certainty, joy. You see what I mean? So you want to, what do you want to add? How are you going to add that in? Some of the ways that we can do that is, first, we do not eat during this time. We do not physicalize. We do not sexualize. We don't do any of these things at this time. We do not use our physical body except for meditation. And in the place of meditation is where you're going to take some of these fears or doubts or worries, and you want the sun to burn them off. So you're literally allowing yourself to see the sun come in and take those fears, those worries, those burdens of what the moon is. The moon is our emotion. So when we put the sun in front of the moon, we're now liberating those feelings or burning off those doubts, those fears, those emotional concerns. We're burning them off with the light of the sun. And the sun is considered the grandfather, the father, the male. How we look at it this way is the female, the feminine, is emotional, is where the emotion is moved, or the water in us is moved. Where the sun dries up some of that emotion. The sun burns off some of that energy so that it comes into more balance. So if you're super emotional, this kind of sun energy is going to burn some of that off and level things out. The solar eclipse on top of fall equinox, we have a really good opportunity here. This is actually a substantial opportunity. So when we talk about drawing down the moon, 2 weeks ago, we did the lunar eclipse. Draw the moon down into us. So in this drawing down the moon from the lunar eclipse perspective, we have taken in the power of a full moon in Pisces. We've already taken it in. It's in us. For those of us who did draw it down, you now have an amplified magical body right this minute, and to use your hands in spreading that magic into this day, into this prayer, into this wish, into this moment as we work with the solar eclipse. So those that worked with the lunar eclipse are super blessed from having that. So when we infuse, when we draw down the energy of a full moon, we are the magical source. We are the magical being. And from our hands, we can make things magical. So those of us who did draw down the moon are going to help me infuse these candles, this sage and sunflower, and these quartz crystals, and the sunflower herb itself here. Okay, sunflower herb, and those are some sunflowers on the sage. One of the most important things we need to do at this time, remember the sun is here to help disperse the emotional discord, all right, whatever that is. So the sun is supposed to help us release that in order to make space for what we want. So we are going to do that. We're going to set the stage to release what might be blocking us from our truth, our path, our dreams, whatever they may be. One of the things that we are supposed to do at this time is not physicalize, but meditate. So I do have a meditation, 10 minutes. It's not a big one. I'd like everybody to get into that space, just a comfortable space to hear it, because that's where ask spirit, before we go into the meditative state, I want you to ask spirit, what is it that you need to release? What is it that might possibly be standing in your way? Is there something? Is there someone? Is there something that is just holding you back for a reason? What's the reason? I want you to ask. I want you to think about it for this moment before we get into it.